I saw A Quiet Place day one today, and this is my review. It was good. I liked it. Scary without being like horror scary, good thrills. Overall, good. If you're scared of movies, I think you'd be fine watching this one. Um, if you haven't seen A Quiet Place, I'm just going to summarize the movie really quickly. Monsters that kill people who make sound appear, and then you have to hide from them and not make any noise. So, what I didn't like about this movie is that, like, in all three Quiet Place movies, they kind of start in the middle of the story where, like, everybody's already figured out that you can't make sound near the creatures. Like, even in the second one, when they show, like, the monsters, like, first coming, it's like, still, you've got that, like, they cut and then it's like, oh yeah, now we know that we can't make noise. And it doesn't show anybody like realizing that and doing the math. And the same thing happens in this movie where like Lupita Nyong'o's character is Sam. She like, I don't know, hits a wall and blacks out. And then when she wakes up, everybody's like, shh. And you're like, okay, but how did you figure that out? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, beyond that, which I feel like that's just a cop out. Like there had to have been some trial and error, or they had to have like knitting, they had to have like shown someone doing the math. I would have appreciated that way more. It was still enjoyable. My biggest beef with the Quiet Place movies is that whenever they're in a situation where there's like one of the monsters, they if there's like a monster near them, there's always that one stupid person who like moves and makes noise. And it's like if there's a monster near you and you know that the monsters only attack you if they can hear you, you just stand still like that. You don't try and leave the room. You just don't move. And then every time that they see one of the monsters, even though they know that they can't be loud by them, it's like, oh, I'm gonna try and leave. Like, no, don't do that. This movie also showed like the government trying to save people, which I was like, that's sketch. So they had like helicopters on day one, like after the monsters first got there, they like kind of exploded out of the sky. It looked like a bunch of meteors coming down. The government had helicopters that were like, get to the south side of the island and stay away from the bridges. And then they like blew up all the bridges to try to like, keep everything on the island. And then they were like, get to the bridges, we've got boats, and the monsters can't swim. And I'm like, how do you already know that the monsters can't swim? How have you figured that out unless you made them? But anyway, besides that, so like everybody's like trying to go south. But what I like about the movie is that Sam has cancer and she's in hospice. And she goes into the city on like a hospice day trip, whatever. And she's like, I just want to get pizza. And she like is like, so long as I get pizza, I'm happy. And so obviously like the apocalypse happens, whatever, and she's standing there. And then her like nurse who's with her, who's played by Alex Wolff, he's like, all right, we got to go south. And she's like, I'm getting pizza. And he's like, he kind of understands. He's like, okay, fine. But then they're like sitting there waiting to go the next day during the daytime. I don't know why. And like the backup generator at the theater that they're hiding in turns on and it makes a ton of noise. And then Alex Wolff like goes to turn it off, which I think was a stupid move because monsters would just smash it and then that would be fine. And he like turns it off and he has to like reach behind to do it. And they're like, oh my God, he did it. And then as he stands up, his shirt gets caught and it rips. And everybody just like stares at him. And then he looks to the side and the monster's there and it just kills him instantly. And I was like, that was dumb in my opinion. But like, basically Sam's like, all right, fine. I gotta get my pizza. Everybody's going south, but I really want to go to Harlem so I can get pizza before I die. And she's got her emotional support cat with her. His name is Frodo. You know how I feel about animal companions in movies. They cause all of the conflict. Anyway, so like she's trying to go north and the cat's with her and then the cat gets separated from her and he finds Joseph Quinn and his character's name is Eric and he's in like a suit or whatever and he just has like a movie long panic attack basically because he's like, oh my God, I'm gonna die and I don't want to die. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of how everyone is right now. but he's talking to Sam, and she's like, "Oh, you got to go south. Like, if you want to live, go south." And he's like, "Well, why are you going north?" And she's like, "Well, I'm gonna get pizza." And he's like, "Okay, I'll go with you." I'm like, dude, respect, but dude. Anyway, so they like spend the whole movie trying to go find Patsy's Pizzeria, which is where Sam wants to go. And they find it, and it's a wreck, and they can't get pizza there. And then they go to like this bar that Sam's dad used to play music at, and they're like sitting there. And then Eric goes and he finds like some other pizza and he brings it back. And it's very cute and it's very sweet, and they eat their pizza. I think my ideal way that I would have ended the movie is they like take a bite into the pizza and it's so crunchy that they like bite and crunch and then they get killed because monsters come in. Anyway, that would have been funny, but sad. But like I got so frustrated because Sam has cancer, right? So she's in a lot of pain and she's like, I need to get my meds. And Eric's like, okay, I'll go get them for you. So he goes to a pharmacy and, you know, takes whatever drug she needs. It was fentanyl. And I was like, first of all, I thought that was for addicts. Anyway, it's not, it's prescription. So as he's heading back, the cat, the stupid cat, like goes up a hill, not really a hill, but like a pile of debris. And Eric follows the cat. And I'm like, Eric, listen, don't. Just, it's a cat, and I'm sorry, but like, your new friend needs her drugs. She'd be upset, but understanding if you lost her cat. And so he like follows the cat, and there's like these weird alien eggs. So I guess that these things do come from like space or whatever. And he's like looking at them, and then all the monsters start to come, and then he does the dumbest shit in the entire world, and he climbs up a support beam because the cat's on the top of the support beam, and for some reason he's like, oh, I gotta save this cat. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to save the cat. And so he like climbs up the beam and grabs the cat, but there are all these monsters around him. I'm like, you're just, all you were supposed to do was stand still and do nothing, and you couldn't even do that. But anyway, they like go away or something, and he gets back and he gives Sam her drugs, and she's like, oh, yay, I'm happy. And, you know, that was all handy dandy, whatever, fine. And then, like, you know, he ends up getting, oh yeah, so then like there are all the boats at the south side of the city that all the people have to get to. And so the first time people tried to go, everybody went out into the streets and they were too loud and monsters started eating them, whatever. But then this time, they do it like quietly enough. And so Sam and Eric see that there's like a boat on the water with a bunch of people on it. And Sam's like, you gotta go. Like, she's basically good dying there because obviously she's already dying. And like, so he has to get on the boat. Eric has to get on the boat. But my other beef with this movie is that there's this boat full of people and it's blowing the foghorn, and all the monsters are just like at the bank of the water, like waiting for this boat to get closer. And I'm like, if you cared about the people on the boat, you would like not blow the horn on the boat, because I just like, it's close enough to the edge of the water that like if there was a monster that was high enough up, maybe it could like jump and get on the boat and then everybody would be dead. And I'm like, listen, I'm not tempting fate like that, okay? Because it's dumb. It's dumb. I don't know why people, it's gotten a lot easier for me to watch horror movies once I start only paying attention to all of the stupid things that people do. Because then instead of being scared, you're just angry at the person. Like when I saw The Strangers, chapter 1, I was just angry at the girl the whole time because I was like, why are you choosing the objectively stupid thing to do in every scenario? It's so infuriating. So anyway, good movie. Happy ending, I guess. I just wish that people were smarter and that they would just shut up when the monsters come instead of being like, I'm gonna scream because I saw a monster, even though it's like day 3 of the apocalypse. Everyone's already seen one of these things. And then one jump, you don't need to scream. You just need to stay where you are and you'll be fine. And there were so many questionable moments in the movie where I was like, why are you doing that? Why? And but it's fine, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, anyway, if you want to see the movie, go see it. I think that you would enjoy it. And if you don't want to see it, then don't, I guess. That's fine. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was good. I was entertained the whole time. Good pacing. Never felt like it was like going too slow or too fast. And both of the leads were played by hot people, so that was great. I think that Joseph Quinn has really beautiful eyes. And it was cute watching him, but he had a British accent, and that just threw me off because I'm used to hearing him with the American accent, and I was like, wait, what? But I was also like, wait, no, this is good. It was weird. Like, there would be one scene where he would talk, and I would be like, oh, I love that. I love your voice. And then the next scene would be like, no, I don't like it. And then the next scene would be like, oh, wait, no, I like it. That was my entire viewing experience. So, anyway, talk to me later. Have a nice night. Bye.